to think that all three of these guys will be busts.
It is crazy to think that, but it's not far off because I feel like when you look at the three quarterbacks in their situations that they've gone into, I feel like Kyler Murray right now is maybe set up for failure quicker than the other two quarterbacks, Daniel Jones and Haskins, because he has to play right now, right? And because he's going to a team that they don't have a ton of weapons. They got a head coach, first-time rookie head coach, who you just alluded to, who struggled at the college level. So there's a lot of figuring it out that's going to go on. And I just don't know, as a rookie quarterback, you want to be trying to figure it out with your coaching staff. I go back to my time in Miami when we drafted Ryan Tannehill. And I thought maybe the worst thing that they did was they put him into the starting role too quick. Because at the college level, he didn't have a ton of experience, like Kyler Murray, like Dwayne Haskins. And they put him into the starting role too fast, and his confidence, they started to chip away at his confidence because he didn't play as great as probably he wanted to, right? And so I feel like as a rookie quarterback, confidence is everything. And right now, when I look at Kyler Murray, he's set up right now to fail because he doesn't have a ton of weapons around him.
It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, you come into this league as a rookie quarterback. First off, you have to understand how the league is set up and how college football is set up. See, when I came into the league, it was set up as a trickle-down, like Reaganomics, right? Yeah. Trickle-down. The NFL affected college, which has affected high school. It's trickle-up now. High school has affected college, which is starting to permeate the National Football League. But there's still a large difference between college football and the spread offenses that you're asked to participate in and what they're doing in the National Football League level. Here's the other thing. You mentioned it, and I think it's a great point. Experience, as J.C. Penney once said, is the best teacher of all, right?
Yeah.
Experience is. You don't have a lot of experience. And oftentimes what happens to you in the college game is you have a lot of success, not because of study habits, not because of you really understand football. It's because you're such a gifted athlete. And then you get in the NFL and you start to realize, shoot, everybody's really good, right? Everybody's really good. And I think for these guys, the game is about the neck up. In pro football, your default mechanism better be from your neck up. In college football, your default mechanism can be athletic. It can be your athleticism. And I think that's an issue.
I like Reggie's point about, because I think Kyler Murray's the most talented of these three.
Yep. Sure.
Let's say we can all agree. But he's also, I think, and people haven't given this a lot of thought like Reggie has, he's stepping into the most dangerous situation because that organization is permeated right now with desperation. If this doesn't work, Steve Keim is toast. He's hired, he's the general manager, president. He's hired Cliff Kingsbury, who failed at Texas Tech. The whole league thinks this is a bad hire. There's pressure on Cliff Kingsbury. Now he's bringing in an offensive system from the college game, and we've drafted a quarterback to run this specific offense that worked and scored points in the college game but didn't win a lot of games. We're bringing that to the NFL. I think that kind of desperation that's pervasive throughout the Arizona organization is unhealthy for a young quarterback.
I would agree with you 100%. And again, like I alluded to, not having enough weapons around him, you go into a situation where you don't have a veteran presence in front of you. Like, I attribute a lot of my early success to Deuce McAllister because he was a veteran in front of me. He showed me how to get it done on and off the football field for 2-3 years. And I was able to go on and take a lot of what I learned from him and then implement that into my own game. That's why I said Dwayne Haskins, you know, he has Case Keenum, Alex Smith is still there, Colt McCoy, Daniel Jones has Eli Manning. And he has guys he can learn from, and he doesn't have to play right now. Kyler Murray has to play right now.
Oh, no. Steve Keim announced today his opening day quarterback starter. It's Kyler Murray. The guys, I don't know if they had that rookie minicamp or anything. I don't think he's done anything yet. He's already been, and look, he's the #1 pick. We expected him to start, but Baker Mayfield went #1. He didn't start right away. They're throwing this kid into the fire.
Sure,
because May 2nd.
Because you have to understand how the system is set up. Because the system now, with the last collective bargaining agreement, says we're not investing that much. Like, would any of these guys been first-round picks if you had the 2010 system where you had to pay $75, $80 million guaranteed money?
Not at all.
They're not even first-round picks, right? Now that you can get away with paying them $20, $30 million, and you say, hey, I spread it out over 5 years because I've got the option, like, I'm really not deep This does not hamstring my franchise. So the guy who has the best chance of these guys, because I think he's the guy that's going to sit the bench for a while, is Daniel Jones. To learn the NFL game, he's got the best opportunity to actually absorb. See, just because you play a pro sport doesn't make you a professional. And when we come in as young players, you talked about Deuce McAllister, you have to learn the NFL game. Not only that, you have to learn how to study. You have to learn how to prepare. It's completely, it's a different animal. And so all of a sudden you're going to throw these guys in, and there's a difference between watching film and studying film. And you get to the point where you're just like, it's like watching a movie, as opposed to really understanding and studying what you're looking at.
And look, I'm going off memory here, but Washington signed Case Keenum, correct?
Yes.
And
correct.
so I believe, they traded for Case Keenum. I think Dwayne Haskins has a shot at sitting at least for 6-7 games and learning some things, because I guarantee you Daniel Snyder really wants Dwayne Haskins to succeed. The last guy he was all in on, Robert Griffin III, that blew up in his face. Maybe they put too much on him too early, blew his head up. I think they'll take a slower approach with Haskins. I'm just not sure. Again, the book is pretty clear. He had a limited amount of college experience. That doesn't translate well to the NFL. I've never heard any draft pick beat up the way Daniel Jones has been beat up by the people that study the draft. He's, Todd McShay is just out there. This guy is a backup quarterback. I can't discount all the experts that watch this. I'm just not sure if he has the tools to be a successful quarterback.
I think he has the athleticism. I mean, arm talent's another question. Decision making, like I said, from the neck up. You talk about Haskins, unbelievable. Unbelievable what he did, but you always have to look back and say, how come you couldn't beat out J.T. Barrett? Right? And you threw 50 touchdowns, and I get it, and it's an impressive body of work. But then I watched you play Michigan and hang 60 on them, and they're supposed to be your #1 rival in Big Ten football, and that wasn't a like athlete to like athlete game. I mean, you're playing against a JV team when you're talking about the difference in athletes from Michigan to Ohio State. It wasn't even close. And so when you get into a competition where everybody is strong, everybody is fast, everybody is athletic, and then some guys, from the neck up, they understand the game. It's shocking. You get wompy jawed.
That was the biggest difference for me. The biggest adjustment I had to make, because the college level, I could just outrun everybody, right? I could outrun people to the sideline. I could make a move them in the open field and create my own space. When I remember my first preseason game, we played the Cowboys, and DeMarcus Ware had me one-on-one on just a regular swing route.
Right.
And he was running step for step with me. I thought I had an easy touchdown. He ended up tackling. This was on like the 5-yard line. I didn't score the touchdown. And so that, to me, was my first introduction into the speed of the game, and this is just how smart guys
Let me
work.
ask you real quick, because I've always wondered this, and people discount this. How big a difference was it with the hash marks? So that you could get that width and you could beat people to the edge and stuff. It's a completely different game.
Yeah, it's a completely different game, and I think you alluded to it as well. Everybody in NFL is smart. I mean, everybody's fast, big, strong, so you're not going to get away with just overpowering people or outrunning people. It's in the head, the mental side of it where guys really...
Yes, and I think for quarterbacks, it's not just they're all big, fast, and strong. They're more assignment sound because they're not studying basket weaving in their spare time. They're all in on football most of the day. I'm not saying everybody's a genius in the NFL, but when that's all you do from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., you're more assignment sound, and that a lot of times catches up with the quarterbacks. Quickly, I just want to ask this question. Are NFL teams too desperate right now to find their franchise quarterback? Is that what's driving these reaches early in the draft?
Well, yeah, they're desperate, but again, because we as players, we don't have enough backbone to stand up to the ownership. We don't. We never have. I'm part of that. I'm guilty as charged. Okay, that we gave in when I was asked to by the Players Association about the rookie wage